It doesn't get better than this. Oh no, it doesn't.
In this video, I talk about how to get sharp images when you're using your telephoto lens, and I'm in a storm on the west coast of Ireland. And a big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video.
Morning everyone, fantastic to see you all again. So another video from Ireland, and tonight we are going, I say we, I am here with this man, Mr. Chamberlain, Master's already gone, you know what he's like, and Darren again, and we are heading up to a peninsula that, it's just a peninsula, it's another peninsula, there's lots of rocks, and it should be an epic sunset. There are so many waves, and I don't know what he's doing behind me, but he's gone, he's disappeared. Anyway, let's get going. Right, well, we were going to go up the hill, but we decided to veto that. Master's gone up there, we've come down to shoot these epic waves, probably the most epic waves I've ever seen. I've come down to the beach, and I'm going to be shooting with my 100-400. I'm probably going to hand hold, and I've got it on some settings that I'm going to talk about throughout the video, because I want to get the sharpest shots. I'm probably going to be shooting really fast shutter speeds, but oh my word, just look at this. This is going to be so good, it's just going to be so good. Just there was like horses coming. Oh, this is like, it was like a Guinness advert. Right, so the sun's going behind the cloud at the moment, which is a bit unfortunate because having backlit waves in a situation like that in this is so important. What I'm trying to do is two things really. One is just catch the wave as it's breaking against the rock, and usually and this rock here on the left hand side, and then the other is as the waves are breaking, I want to, there's like almost they come up like this, and I really want to catch the shape they're making, and just to try and catch the character of the waves, because it's so cool. But having that backlit wave just makes it so much better. I'm shooting at a really fast shutter speed at the moment, at about 1/3000th of a second, because I feel like that's going to be best. I'll experiment maybe if the light goes in with some slower shutter speeds, but I really think that fast shutter speed is what is important at the moment. So I can hand hold it, which gives me a little bit more flexibility, and then just to stay low is really important, because I can then just create, I can catch these waves going up. So there's one coming now, I'll just show you, that's perfect there. So I just needed to take a photo of that and it would just be absolutely fantastic.
So the characters of these waves were just amazing. To ensure I got sharp shots, then I made sure that I was using shutter priority 1/2000th of a second, and I wasn't worrying too much about aperture, around about f8, f10 to get a little bit of depth of field, and then auto ISO.
So these waves here just look so fantastic. The offshore wind's just creating this amazing blowback, which just looks so impressive. We just need a little bit more of that sun to come through, but I think we might get some breaks, and that's just going to look phenomenal. Right, still waiting for a bit of light, but I've got an absolutely amazing composition here. So I've got a rock just breaking there. I've got the sort of diagonal line of the sort of rocks on the right hand side, and then the clouds above just sort of frame it all really well. It's so good. I just need a little bit more light on the waves in the foreground, but it's just, this is so phenomenal. God, God, these waves are just so amazing.
I love this slightly wider shot, and I was just waiting for the bird to come into view so that I could get something just a little bit different, and I think it worked really well.
Right, this is good. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just get a bit more light, please. But that gives me hope. That gives me hope, because I think if there's a gap there, there's a chance. Quick, 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 please get a wave now. Where have all the waves gone? Oh, we just need a wave. They all went when we got the light. Oh, that was so good. The waves then. Oh, look at these now. Boom. It doesn't get better than this. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, so I've just got a slightly different composition here where I'm sort of using these cliffs on the left hand side here and the cliffs on the right side, they're catching the light really nicely. And then we've got, and basically I'm just waiting for a swell to come through. So I'm a little bit higher than on the beach so that I've just got a few layers to it, and it looks so good. Where you've just got to wait for the waves to get a little bit bigger, and then you can see them breaking out at sea as well. I mean, just phenomenal. Oh. Come on, light. You can see the sun. So there's a few things to think about when you're shooting with a really long lens like a 100 to 400, especially at the 400mm end, to get sharp shots, because I've got obviously a depth of field part of the image, because the depth of field is significantly reduced by the fact I'm using 400mm. So I'm really conscious of, sorry, I thought I was going to fall over then. I'm really conscious of just making sure where I focus. So I want to make sure that there's a certain wave in focus, and then I'm going to let the focus drop off back into the distance. I'm not too bothered if the far mountain in the background's out of focus, but I want to get the droplets of water. That's really important, so I'm going to really fast shutter speed. And then just controlling my ISO, and sometimes I'm shooting at ISO 640, ISO 800. In fact, I think one shot before was ISO 1000 to get that 2000th of a second shutter speed. It's really, really important, because otherwise you're not going to get those really sharp images that look really crispy and nice. So the other thing that's important is to get these sharp images is having light, because that helps separate the droplets and creates clarity to the image, which is so, so important when you're doing wave shots like this. Wow, this just looks so good. So I'm here with Michael shooting these incredible waves, and it really is spectacular, isn't it?
Oh yeah. We got the birds flying over.
Yeah, there's birds.
Light rays.
Oh, it's just so incredible.
It's like too much stuff.
Yeah,
too many things are
like,
going
yeah,
on.
there's so many things to photograph, isn't there? There's different angles,
yeah,
different rocks. Those I was just shooting those rocks before over there, where they're a diagonal from over there, and they just catch the light so nicely.
Oof.
So what are you looking at here? Just waiting for light to come, or?
Yeah, you know, I've just been observing kind of the waves crashing against this jagged rock.
Yeah.
On the left side, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then the layering of the waves coming in, like when one wave will be moving, you know, let's say one wave is moving to the left, the other is moving to the right, and you end up getting these intersecting bits of spray with color.
Yeah, you get like really nice things going in the air as well, don't you? Of the
Yeah, and I think the fact that it's so well, right now we're shielded by this little guy, but it's so windy when you step out of here, and the wind is moving kind
it's
of
offshore, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like perpendicular to the waves, so you get just an immense amount of spray pushing the opposite direction of the wave, and it's so cool looking. But then even just everything out in the distance, the islands with all the light rays is just
the light rays,
unreal.
Just look at that. It's just
look at that wave.
incredible, isn't
Oof.
it?
All right, yeah. One
Yeah, just keep shooting. Shoot and talk.
Look at the light rays now.
Yeah,
look at that one. It's going to hit us.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
so
here we go.
good.
No. All right, maybe not. I don't know how any of these shots are turning out because it's so crazy, so overwhelming.
Sometimes with things like this, I find that you get overwhelmed by the experience, and then you have to sort of think about the composition, and you forget that, don't you? I've done that before, where you think, oh, that was so amazing. You get back and look at your photos, and you think, yeah, well, I probably should have thought about that a bit more.
Yeah, I think it's tough because for the photographer in a place like this, witnessing this, the experience is incredible, but for the viewer looking at the photo, they're not necessarily having that experience.
Well, they don't have the sound, they don't have all those immersive experiences, do they?
So it's like, how do you take something like this and translate it through a photograph? I think that's probably the most challenging part about getting really cool stuff like this.
For me, it's all about the power. That's what I sense when I'm here, just the power of it all. So I'm trying to sort of get that across, but whether I'll do that or not is a different matter.
Yeah, and I think earlier, like I was talking about, making the shutter speed pretty high to really show all the texture, which
exactly.
It sort of enhances that power. Whereas when you start to do like a long exposure,
it creates a softer, doesn't it?
It looks so blissful.
Yeah,
it turns something that's really dramatic into something kind of whimsical and very, very peaceful almost. Whereas like I don't know if that's the right call for here because...
No, it's definitely not. Oh, we've got more light again. Oh, when the light comes, it's so spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Woo! Backlighting to the waves.
Oh, it's lovely light. So good. Boom, 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 boom. That was so epic. There were so many big waves coming through, and I went a little bit wider. And in fact, I'm going to shoot again now because there's a ray, and the glow is so incredible. It's reflecting off the sea. It looks fantastic. It doesn't get better than this. This is so good. Oh my word, look at it now. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, this is the best it's been, I think. Now we've got full on light and it's going again. Oh, this is just so good. So before I was just shooting wider through that gap, and it was just so good. I think it's just a little bit more balanced on as you go this side of the beach, you can get the other side of the cliff in, and it sort of balances it out a little bit. It's good from both sides, to be honest, but it's Well, that was some of the best shots I've taken this year, I think. Really, really spectacular conditions, and I can't wait to have a look at them. So we'll go back to the studio. I'm definitely going to print some of those out. I'll have a look at them, and I've just got some final thoughts on short photos as well.
Right, that was amazing. What a fantastic evening that was. I've got some prints I'm going to show you and talk about some other things to do with just getting sure you get those sharp shots, catching those water droplets. Before I do that, I've just got something really exciting to announce, and that is that I've got an ebook out on composition. So if you're looking to improve your composition, then I've created an ebook which is the last 30 years of all the information that I've learned over those years in trying to find and make better compositions. Now, I really struggle with that. You might think that you know, I do produce some good images now, but all my photography life really I've struggled. I don't think I've got a really natural eye. So I've learned ways to overcome that, and I've put all those ways in this ebook. If you want to get a copy, then there's a link in the description below. I really appreciate it as well. It helps to support me, and I think it's of real value to everybody, every photographer, no matter what level you are, really. And whilst I'm on that, I just want to say that that ebook is sold through my platform Squarespace, which is where my website sits. And if you're looking to build your own website, which I definitely recommend, then I would recommend checking out Squarespace, which is this week's sponsor. They are a fantastic platform to build your own website, create your own domain name, and just showcase your photos, really. You know, you're in control of the quality, and then if you want to, you can start to sell things, maybe an ebook, maybe you want to sell some of your prints. Prints are just fantastic, and you know, it's really good if you've got a local area that you shoot in. You might want to sell those prints locally. Squarespace is a great place to do that. So I'll leave a link in the description, and if you want to get 10% off, you can use squarespace.com/Nigel or the offer code Nigel. Okay, onto those tips. First of all, what I want to do is just show you a photo here. This photo is a photo that I took with a slightly longer exposure as the waves calm down right at the end of the evening. It just shows you the difference a longer exposure gives to the scene than these really fast exposures. It's much calmer, as Michael was saying. So that's really interesting. I thought I'd show you that, and then I want to show you these. So these, let's go with this big one first. So this is an A2 print, and this is when I was just looking straight out at the sea cliffs on the background here, and they've just got this mountain on the background here, and I just waited for the waves to be in the right positions, and this one's just breaking. You can just see the light through it. I think this looks really good. It just gives a real feeling of what it was like when the light came out, and just giving that really warmth to the image. It's pin sharp as well. The one thing I'd say though is it's probably not sharp right at the front here, because I'm not too worried about depth of field when I'm using that longer lens. I'm more focused on shutter speed than depth of field. Now, obviously, I don't want to shoot at f4 because that would be too shallow depth of field. But if you have like f8, something like that, then that's usually good enough. I want to shoot and focus on the main wave, and I usually have my focus tracking as the wave's coming towards me. So, so continuous autofocus. It works really well with the Nikon Z8. I know my Z7 struggled a little bit with that, but the Z8 is just incredible. And then, you know, as long as you're focused on that, you've got a fast shutter speed. You're not too worried about your ISO. I mean, I was shooting, I think this one was at ISO 1000, but I was shooting at really high ISO, and then you can obviously do noise reduction in Lightroom afterwards, and yeah, they look phenomenal. The most important thing is just getting that fast shutter speed over probably 1/2000th of a second. You might be able to get away with 1/1500th of a second. And then the other shot I want to show is this one. So this is an image that I printed here in A3. And this is just the example of how good light is. So, you know, the light's coming in this direction here, and it's just lighting up all the droplets, and the background is dark. So that contrast between the dark and the light creates really crisp images. So having a sharp image isn't just about focus, it isn't just about shutter speed, but it's also about contrast, because contrast gives edges, and edges then look crisp and sharp. So having those edges and the light just shining on that light but not on the background hill makes such a big difference here. And I really like this one. I think it's a really nice image. This maybe is just a little bit too dark, but I tried to balance it with a gap here so that the wave's in the middle, and balance those two sides. but I think it works pretty good. It's a little bit asymmetric, I suppose. And then this one shows when we didn't have as much light. We had a little bit of light, but it wasn't like a huge amount of light. But I really like this, and I really want to take more wave shots like this, where you're just focusing on the shapes that are being created in the wave, these horses as they're coming forwards and the waves crashing. It really gives that sense of drama, that power, which was so spectacular, it really was. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed that fantastic evening shooting the waves, and maybe you know, some of the tips are useful for getting sharper photos when you're next shooting waves, or anything really. Thanks ever so much for watching. We might have a video out on Wednesday because there's a challenge video coming out, and I've just got to check with everybody else when it's coming out. Might be Wednesday. If not, see you next Sunday. Bye.